Hey, what up, fam? Welcome back to the Royal Word. And today we're gonna get into a little bit about how easy the middle class can retire and have a true middle classy, no worry type retirement. It's a couple keys and tips that you can do at the middle class level. So let's get into it. Okay, so first, mainly the middle class, right? It has really like two type of jobs, right? So you have a job that's like has a pension, and you have a job that doesn't have a pension. Today's you don't really see many pension jobs, but state and federal workers still have them. Law enforcement, fire department, some older companies like was it like Altria, Philip Morris, um, still have pensions. And just get into this, I think pensions are a great way to retain workforce and keep people from job hopping. But like I said, it's a most companies don't either last long enough to be able to afford it, or they're not big enough and with the capability to afford it, and it cuts into their actual profits. So, it long story about how the world is moving from pensions, so it's getting rarer and rarer. But like I say, if you do have a pension, you do have it a little bit easier because you do have some sort of guaranteed income after you put in the correct amount of years and get the right age to have some sort of income coming in from your old job without you actually going in. It's like a vested interest in the employee, which pensions are great. Like I say, they're costly, and that's why we don't see them too often anymore. But they do have a little bit easier with people with pensions. So let's go over little tips that people who have pensions can live exactly the same level as they were when they're working, or a little bit even better. So first of all, most people with pensions also still have a 401k system. So, and the employee gives a match. Normally it's 5%, but some employees match more. And so the minimum is to contribute the what the employee matches. That means you do not give away that free money. If they match 5%, you need to put in at least 5%. Um, oh yeah. Also, by the way, this is not no professional advice. These are just tips that I've seen and I've studied throughout the time of me living, and I found out seen from others and that this has worked. But by all means, do not base your financial outcome or well-being off of this video. These are just things for you to go look at, research, and make your own educated opinion. Now that said, I ain't trying to get sued. I ain't got no money. Um, Next, another thing is actually not new, but most people just don't do it because they are expensive. Is an IUL, an Index Universal Life Insurance Policy. These are really expensive, but they're well worth it because you only pay for a certain amount of time. So basically, once you pay your initial investment, most times it's over 10 to 20 years. It was a minimum of 10 years if you don't want to be taxed on it as an investment. Um, but once you pay it up, you don't have to continuously pay into it. And the great thing about this, you can borrow from it and still have a death benefit without having to pay that loan back. So it's basically living off of debt, which is tax free, but your death benefit pays that. So say you have a death benefit of $100,000 and you take out maybe $10,000 every year for 10 years, your death benefit pays off the loan at the time of your death. So that's an easy way to get in a couple $1,000s a month, or it's the easy way to facilitate your cars or something like that. It's a great benefit and is a great way, but like I said, they are expensive, so you do need to start them young for them to be affordable. And also, I'm not saying they're hard to get, but you have to be in really good health. So if you have any, before your health starts to fail you, anything like that, you need to go ahead and get this done ASAP, because once you have it, they can't take it from you. But at the same time, you have, it's one of the things that you need to get sooner less than later. Next good tip is to at least invest $100 a month in some sort of stocks and bonds in your own portfolio. Is that you can do this yourself by looking at the dividends, or I'm not sure what your game plan is for stocks, but you should at least be investing at least $100 a month. The easiest way to do it is just invest in index funds such as SPY, VOO, QQQ, something like that, because those people are getting paid millions of dollars to do the research for you, and they invest in multiple stocks and have as an actual fund. That's why they call it an index fund. But having your own portfolio and not depending on others, but like I said, this won't last you through retirement, but it will help take the burden off of retirement if you have that backbone in your portfolio. And nextly, reduce bad debt as much as possible. So by the time you retire, try to pay off your house, try to pay off most of your car loans, so you're only having one or two or three, not at the same time, but going into your old-timey days. These tips should help you live comfortably and without having to worry about going to work when it's time to get that minimum age or time to turn in that pension. You know what I'm saying? So now it's time to talk about people without pensions. So a lot of these people, their retirement is based off their 401k, which is transferable from job to job, and usually the match is a little bit higher. So at a minimum, please put in at least 10%, if not even more. You only can put in a certain amount per year. So if you can max it out, all means max it out. But I know you have to live as well. So same goes with, you also should go out and get a IUL as well. And if you don't want to max out your 401k, take that same amount of money that you were maxed out, which is the $22,000, and put it into your IUL. And if you put that $22,000 in per year to an IUL, would roughly give you a little bit over $1 million in benefit for your IUL. So, like I said, IULs are really, really expensive, but it is something that you really, really need to go into retirement, especially if you don't have that pension income as well. You all know we cannot depend on Social Security, especially for this new generation. Same with the individual investments into your stock portfolio, but I recommend, instead of maybe $100 a month, stepping that up to $250 to $500 a month, because your actual retirement is dependent on you. And it is even more important for you without the pension to reduce all that bad debt. So because you're not going to be able to have that job income coming in as well. So I know that pension income is literally like only half or even less than what you're normally making, but that can most likely still facilitate a house note or something like that if you had to have it. So being able to retire and live off Social Security, and to maintain that level of lifestyle that you were living while you were working, you'll need to get most of those bad debts out of the way. And also, a Roth IRA, max one of those out every year if you don't have a pension, because that will pay big dividends with that tax-free income when you hit the right age. And like I said, these are all retirement at that middle class level. It's like you really need to. It's not going to escape you from that middle class level, and it's really going to be that middle class 9 to 5. I drive a Honda. I live in a 2,000 square foot house. Like, that's it. Like, I go on vacation once or twice a year. You know what I'm saying? I can afford to go to the mall and do stuff like that. Like nothing extravagant, nothing social media s, but it'll keep the lights on. You know what I'm saying? And another thing I would say look into, because they're kind of fairly cheap plans, is getting a disability insurance plan, just to match that income, because some employees don't actually offer disability insurance. And I know some of it's by the state as well. Um, but it helps you get to that point. It helps you maintain that level of income, because you never know how severe or what could happen. And the fact that they are cheap policies, that is pretty good to get. And oh yeah, I'm not a certain insurance agent, so please don't act like I'm trying to sell you something, because these are just advice that I've seen over the years and through my research, through my study. All right. Um, and some other keys, right, to actually get you to where you need to be in life, and to maintain that level of living within my means type mindset. Try not to spend more than 10% of your income on crap. Like if you bring in $2,000 every 2 weeks, try not to spend more than $200 on like stuff that's not going to be beneficial to you. Like you may not need to buy the new J's every 2 weeks, or you know what I'm saying, like, or you may not need to go spend $200 at the bar every week, because when you spend more than like that 10% threshold, you're really cutting out your way to break out of that middle class, or to be able to fund the lifestyle that you probably really want. So as also, that's another thing, is know your number, to actually know what will bring you happiness and know where you need to be. And some other easy tips of like, because like some of the biggest expenses we have are car notes and mortgages. For like I said, we are strictly talking to the middle class here. So an easy way to stay living within your means, so like especially with the car note, take your yearly income and divide it by 3, and that way you kind of can understand like, hey, I probably shouldn't go brought that $60,000 car, even though I can technically afford it. But to live within my means, I'm probably more so around the $30,000 range. And also, for when it comes to homes and affordability, um, take your income and times it by 3. So if you make $100,000 a year, you probably can afford like $300,000. That way, it won't put a burden or stress on your actual income. Oh, the bank's going to try to loan you a whole lot more than that if you make that type of money. Like if you make over 100, they're trying to give you $500,000-$600,000. Even though yes, you probably can make that payment, but you'll be house poor. That'll be all you can do. You know. So, but like those are just tips to live within those middle class means. Now, like to actually escape those middle class means, or to do something like that, you'll need other sources of income. I'm not here to tell you how to get those sources of income, but you're going to need multiple strands of income. Your money will need to make money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your money will have to be used not just to pay bills, but to actually bring in more money. Like, it will have to multiply. Your money will have to multiply. The power of compounded interest over time. So that's to escape levels from middle class to high class, or poor class to middle class, from poor to high. Like, it takes time, multiple streams of income, and your money needs to be reinvested and compounded. That's really the only way I've seen people escape levels, is actually having that discipline and having their money multiply for themselves. Or you hit the lottery. Hitting the lottery is probably the best thing, because it's easy, it's overnight, and you get what you want. But other than that, oh no, hopefully this helps people start doing research on their own and get people to that comfortable level, and also look at the jobs they want to accept. It's like most people don't even think about having a pension, but in how good a pension can be beneficial, and what jobs and what companies and stuff still carry out pensions. So thank y'all for listening. Y'all check out everything else. We got more merch coming in this quarter. More videos coming this quarter. Car shows. If you want to ride with the Royal family, come out, support. You know, we try to hit up most of the car shows in Central Virginia, kind of like, so like Richmond, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, Norfolk sometimes. So yeah, holla at us. Um, Stay tuned. Website. Oh yeah, more big things coming this quarter, man. You know, Royal Resto coming, the Etching coming. So check those. Check out for those. All in all, this was the Royal Word. We out.